Hello, my wonderful learners, viewers, listeners at home. Welcome to today's series. We have started a series on acid and we'll be concluding that series today. Today, we'll be looking at the concept of acid in our chemistry lesson today. Welcome. What we'll be discussing is properties of acid, physical and chemical, method of preparation of acid, and of course, the uses of acid. I'm sure you have your pen and papers ready for today's class. If you are ready, I am ready. Now, let's start with the physical properties of an acid. What are the physical properties of an acid? An acid has a salt test. Yes. Don't go testing acid in the laboratory. But you can find out that acid have a salt test when you take unripe fruits like unripe oranges, unripe mango, unripe papaya. You see that they all have a sour taste. That's a characteristic that they contain acid. Then strong acid are corrosive. It's a very dangerous thing to do. Don't allow a strong acid come in contact with your clothes or your hands or your body. It can be very, very corrosive. Aqueous acid turns blue litmus paper to red. Yes, that's what you use to test for an acid in the laboratory. Then they are electrolyte in solution. You can use them to conduct electricity. Remember, electrolytes are chemical substances that conduct electricity either in molten state, fused state, or in solution. Now let's look at the chemical properties of an acid. One is neutralization reaction. Yes, I'm sure you have had neutralization reaction. It's reaction between an acid and base to give salt and water only. So example is HCl, which is an acid, plus sodium hydroxide, which is a base, to give sodium chloride plus water. Acid also react with trioxocarbonate 4 of metals to produce carbon 4 oxide as a gas. This salt the salt is produced and water. So if you look at it, you find out that this is also an example of neutralization reaction because the gas is giving up. So example is calcium trioxocarbonate 4 plus hydrochloric acid to give you calcium chloride and water plus CO2 being liberated. My wonderful learners at home, I'm sure you are getting the best of this lesson. Now let's look at other chemical properties of acid. Acid react with some metals to liberate hydrogen gas. Yes, the word some is very, very important because not all acid will react with, not all metals will react with acid to liberate hydrogen gas. Now, what are the metals that can liberate hydrogen gas from, hydrogen can liberate from metals? They include metals like sodium, potassium, generally metals that are above hydrogen on the activity series. Remember, metals like copper, platinum, silver, and gold are below hydrogen on the activity series, so they cannot liberate hydrogen in this kind of reaction. So the next one is acid react with tetraogo sulfate 4 salt to produce sulfur 4 oxide. You can see here sodium trioxo sulfate 4 reacting with hydrochloric acid to produce sodium chloride plus water plus SO2 gas. SO2 is sulfur 4 oxide. Yes, let's look at how acid can be prepared in the laboratory. Our next point of call is method of preparation of acid. Again, method of preparation of acid. How can we prepare acid? Acid can be prepared by direct combination of elements. Example is when hydrogen combine with chlorine, you get hydrogen chloride gas. In solution, it becomes hydrochloric acid. Now, when you burn non-metals in air, non-metals like sulfur, carbon, nitrogen, just to mention of but a few, you will get acid gas. And those gases are called acid anhydride because you can dissolve them in water to produce an acid. So when they say what is an anhydride, what is an acid anhydride? They are gases or substances, oxides that can be dissolved in water to produce an acid. Then, of course, we have action with acid anhydride in water. That's what I've just said. If you react SO4 plus water, it will give you trioxo sulfates 4 acid. Yes, this lesson is quite interesting, I guess. And if you are participating very well, I'm sure you must have learned a lot. Now, as we continue with the method of preparation of acid. Now, acid, generally, we call it displacement reaction. Generally, a strong acid will displace a weak acid from its salt. The order of volatility of acid is as written below. The trisulfate 6 acid to ethanoic acid to hydrochloric acid to triogonitrate 5 acid to trioxosulfate 4 acid to hydrogen sulfide and to carbonic acid. So If you prepare this by this example, you will see that tetraoxosulfate 6 acid react with sodium chloride to produce tetraogosulfate 6, sodium tetraosulfate 6, then plus hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid can be displaced from tetraoxosulfate 6 acid when you react with sodium chloride. My wonderful students, what do you think we use acid for? Find out shortly how what acids are used for. Acids have numerous examples, but very few among them includes the general uses of acid include it is used in the production of salt. Remember neutralization reaction? Yes. Then it's also used to the dissolution of metal. Metal can be dissolved using acid. Then of course acid are used as electrolyte. Remember I said electrolyte are chemical substances that conduct electricity either in molten state, fused state, or in solution. And lastly, acid can be used in redox reaction as redox reagents, as we have some oxidizing agent and reducing agents used as acid. So my wonderful students, acid can also be used for dehydration. Yes, tetraoxosulfate 6 acid in concentrated form is used for dehydration. Dehydration means removal of water from any substance. Now, let me caution you, this is very, very dangerous. Do not add water to acid. Instead, add acid to water. Never touch an acid without protective cover, meaning your hand glove must be on if you want to touch an acid. Never test an acid with your tongue. Yes, when I said acid have a sour test, does not mean you should test an acid with your tongue. But of course, like I said, you can get the test from unripe fruits, like unripe pawpaw, unripe mango, unripe orange, guava, just to mention, but in few. If you come in contact with an acid in the laboratory, inform your teacher or lab attendant immediately for safety. My wonderful student, as you stay back at home, I would like you to practice this exercise as form of assignment to ensure that learning has taken place. So my question includes A1, define the term basicity of an acid. B, what is basicity of the following? Triogonitrate 5 acid, metanoic acid, trioxosulfate 4 acid. We have propanoic acid. Differentiate between strong acid and concentrated acid and dilute acids from weak acid. With a chemical equation, describe any two methods of preparation of acid in the laboratory. And lastly, state two physical properties and two chemical properties of an acid. Remember, you can always go through my YouTube channel, subscribe, and listen to so many lessons that we have prepared already. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Hope to see you in my next lesson. My name is Mr. Philip Maman. You can get me on 08026598861. Have a blessed day.